Well, 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 another fantastic night of boxing. We're being spoilt this year and it's only fucking February. So hopefully the rest of the year carries on like this. Mauricio Lara is now the WBA featherweight champion with a devastating stoppage of Leigh Wood last night. Now, Wood, I feel absolutely heartbroken for the guy because he was fighting so well. He was working behind the jab. He couldn't, he was landing some decent right hands. I mean, Lara had his moments. It wasn't one-sided. I mean, he hurt Wood in the second round. He had some good body work, which was causing Wood some problems. Excuse me. But he shook him with a right hand just round the guard, and Wood sort of did a funny little dance for a few minutes. But he came back into it in the third. He was catching Lara with some fantastic right hands. Couldn't miss him with it really. But in the fourth, Lara again, because he was always dangerous. Well, it was always on the cards. I think it was in the fourth. He came back. It was a right hand, left hook combo, which it sort of made him. You can see Wood was, he was buzzed a little bit by it. Not hurt, but he was buzzed by it definitely. But he battled back in that round, and obviously in rounds 5 and 6, he was controlling the pace with his jab. That straight right hand was his best weapon, and Lara looked knackered. He was gassed, mouth was open. I thought, ooh, perhaps my prediction's going to be wrong. Perhaps Wood's going to, do the business. And then in the seventh, towards the end of the seventh, he got caught with that left hook. What's the old saying? Never hook with a hooker. He threw a left hook. Lara threw a left hook. Landed bang on the button. Wood went down like a sack of shit, flat on his back. And he got up, don't get me wrong, but he was very unsteady on his legs, and Ben Davison, his trainer, threw the towel in. To a lot of outrage. I mean, at the time, I was kind of like, ooh, that was very premature. Something not right there. But I've seen the fight back a couple of times. I watched the knockout a couple of times. And it is a difficult decision. I mean, I think there was only 6 seconds left in the round. But Lara was right there, ready to go. 6 seconds is more than enough time to do some fucking damage and injure somebody. So I personally didn't have a problem with the stoppage. I thought it was a good stoppage. In my opinion, I mean, I can understand the outrage. I mean, I'm gutted for Leigh Wood because he fought his fucking heart out. He fought one of the fights of his life. And yeah, I mean, even after, he protested, obviously, as he would at the stoppage. But you could see his eyes were fucking rolling around in his head, and he was still unsteady on his feet. So it would only taken a couple of punches from Lara, and he could have been seriously hurt. So I think it's a good stoppage personally. Just shows the dynamite in Lara's fists, and he takes one punch. I mean, it was always there again. And like I say, shook him a couple of times, and body shots, a couple of hooks to the head, right and left. But it was such a shame for Wood. I mean, he didn't show any ring rust. He didn't show any ill effects from the Conlon fight, because my concern was that the Conlon fight was going to have taken a lot out of him, because it was such a hard fight. And I thought that, that Lara was probably going to walk through him maybe a little bit. But no, it was a good fight. Gutted for Wood, but Mauricio Lara deserves it. There was a little bit of a spat between him and Warrington afterwards. Personally, I don't really want to see that fight. I mean, Warrington's coming off a loss. Lara beat the fuck out of him 2 years ago. So, personally, I mean, there probably is a rematch clause. As far as I know, there is. There always is these days. And I hate rematch clauses. However, in this instant, I would quite like to see an immediate rematch, because it was such a good fight, and obviously Wood was ahead. He was ahead on the judges' scorecard. I had him at the time of the stoppage, not scoring the 7th round, 4 rounds to 2 up, and the way it was going until that punch landed, he would have either stopped Lara or he would have just totally outboxed him, because Lara was gassed. He was tired. Even after, when the referee was counting over Wood, you could see Lara was leaning in the corner like, oh, fucking please don't get. But he was ready to go when Wood got up, he was right there, ready to land the killing blows, so to speak. So, no, I'd quite like to see that rematch. I wouldn't want to see Warrington, and then assuming, just for argument's sake, that Lara beats Wood in the rematch, um, I'd like to see him fight Lopez in a all Mexican unification, or if Wood gets the belt back, providing they don't want a third fight immediately with Lara. I mean, I'm skipping way ahead here. I think unification time is on the cards. We need to get these belts all sorted all together and have one top guy in the division. So no, we've been absolutely spoilt this month. Well, this year, the last 2 months, well, month and a half, and we're only in middle of February. And it's already been a fucking brilliant year for boxing. So yeah, next week we've got the YouTube sensation, old Jake Paul. Now I've said before, I don't cover YouTube boxing. I don't particularly like YouTube boxing. But he is actually fighting a boxer. Okay, it's Tommy Fury. He's hardly the cream of the crop, but he is a professional boxer. And then and only then, if he beats Fury, I will take him a bit serious. I will take Jake Paul seriously. But until he beats a boxer, and then fights more boxers. I don't want this to be a one and done. Oh, I've fought a boxer. I'm gonna fight fucking bin men again. Then there's all this controversy. Apparently, he's been told if he wins, he's going to be ranked in the top 40 by the WBC. And it's like, I think that's pushing it a bit, because beating a Tommy Fury, if he wins, beating a Tommy Fury doesn't really qualify for that. But the WBC are corrupt arseholes, as we all know. Anything for money, and it's money. So, and they're money orientated, as I said yesterday, as everybody is. So I'll try not to get too wound up about that, because it is what it is. It's nonsense. If you like it, watch it. If you don't like it, don't. But the undercard fight, Makabu against Badu Jack for the WBC Cruiserweight title, I'm looking forward to that one, actually. Because Jack, when I saw him, I think he was on the undercard of Joshua against Usyk in Saudi Arabia. He looked terrible, and I don't think he deserved to win that fight. But we'll see. He might have just been having a bad night. So I'm looking forward to that one. And personally, I think that should be the main event. But we live in clown world now, where YouTubers are supposedly celebrities now. So there you go. We'll see. But no, another good weekend of boxing. And yeah, I'll speak to you next week.